mean, I'm feeling mean. Tonight I'm feeling mean. Gonna make an ugly scene. Tonight I'm feeling mean. I'm feeling mean. Tonight I'm gonna pick myself a fight. If some deserving dirtbag a black eye, and if he swings at me, then I'll bust that sucker's knee. 'Cause tonight I'm feeling mean. I'm feeling mean. I'm feeling mean. I'm feeling mean. The meanest hunk of meat anyone's ever seen. Get out of the way of the hurricane. There's a heavy price to pay. Tonight I'm feeling mean. I'm feeling mean. And tonight I'm gonna drink like daddy done. Gonna act a fool and keep on till the dawn. Drink 15 pints of beer, then I'll go right out here. And tonight I'm gonna drink like daddy done. 'Cause I'm feeling mean. I'm feeling mean. The meanest hunk of meat that anyone's ever seen. Get out of the way of the hurricane. There's a heavy price to pay. 'Cause tonight I'm feeling mean. I'm feeling mean. I'm feeling mean. I'm feeling mean. The meanest hunk of meat that anyone's ever seen. Get out of the way of the hurricane. There's a heavy price to pay. Tonight I'm feeling mean. 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 I'm feeling mean.
SEO this week. Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome to episode 191 of SEO this week. I'm going to try something this week, try something new. I'm going to see if I can bring the podcast back on Apple and Spotify or whatever. So let me push some buttons. SEO this week. Welcome to episode 191. Thank you for joining me. This week we are going to be bringing back the podcast. So if you're an Apple follower, you're on Spotify or whatever, and you listened to the podcast before, I was spotty at best to record those, and the issue was really it was just audio processing. So I do the show on YouTube, as you probably all know. We point and talk about a lot of things, which make it a little bit harder on the audio side, and then too, I just hate editing things. I do everything kind of raw. It is what it is, and that's kind of just how I leave it. So this week I wanted to. We're going to bring the show back, and we brought if you watched on YouTube or the Facebook or what's the other one? Periscope. Sorry, brain farted today. We got the Rode Podcaster Pro. So the Rode Podcaster Pro is set up. It's recording. We got the nice audio now, so everything should be a little bit cleaner, and I have to do a little bit less work on the whole editing and all that stuff, so I can publish the shows in a little bit more efficiently on the podcast platforms and do everyone justice. So that's the goal. So with that, I got the news stuff today. As always, if you want to leave comments like Ted Kabitis, Dory Friend, Connor, etc. They're in the YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, you can leave comments on Facebook. I get to see them all. It's all brought in here into my cool little dashboard, my fancy techno setup. And I'd love to hear what you got to say. I'd love to hear your questions, etc. So while you're thinking of those, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We'll talk about this week's news stories. If you see the link in there, it's not live yet. I have some other things I want to do. So you'll get to see that in a minute. But with that, here's the screen. I'm going to shut off studio mode, make it easier for me. All right, so the first one is how to record SERPs and analyze algorithms with Python. So if you are adventurous and you want to set up your own rank tracking software, this is a webinar. It's actually going to show you the process. Now, when I first saw the article, is actually the steps were in there, but since I saw it and between the time that I saw it and the time that I wrote the page and went back to create my UTM codes, they changed it to a webinar. No big deal. The webinar is on the 14th. So what is that? Thursday, I believe it is. I'm going to go, and it's basically what I'm going to show you is how to use the Google Search API, which essentially returns the search results for whatever keyword you want, and use Python and turn that into your own rank tracker. And the idea is that, one, you reduce your rank tracking costs, and two, you learn some Python stuff. I think that'll be pretty cool. I'm going to be definitely be implementing that and checking it out. If you're a follower of any of Ted Kabitis' tools, I don't know if he wants to know the cat out of the bag, but my guess is that the Google Search API is going to be involved in Core 6 when that is released, expected time, sometime towards the end of the month, which would be nice. All right, so the next story is 4 ways Google Analytics will improve your data. I've had a lot of questions on the show, if you've been watching, from various users talking about should we implement GA4? Have you implemented GA4? What's the difference between a universal and GA4? And so I've been reading a lot more of these things and checking things out, and this article is probably by far the most exciting for me. So with Google Analytics in universal analytics, you go in and you build your goals and, phone numbers, scrolls, and all that stuff. And it's pretty much like the most common ones that everyone does. So tracking phone numbers, tracking buttons, tracking form fills, and tracking scrolls. So you make sure that people are interacting with your page. And you use those together with heat maps and do your CRO. Well, when you turn on Google Analytics 4, which is a big hang up for a lot of people, you lose all of your data if you shut off Universal Analytics. So it's recommended that you have both running for now. Let them both collect data so that you build up a nice data set in GA4 versus just going cold turkey and bumping over it. Now, if you've got a really small website and I would even venture to say a local business website, like you're a plumber, roofer, etc. Honestly, does it really matter? Your traffic volume's low as it is, unless you're like the viral plumber for however many you manage to pull that off. But your traffic volume's low, so you might not be missing out on a whole lot. by just implementing GA4 and being done with it, versus an enterprise site that's going to need to keep that data around so they can compare year over year, et cetera, right? So, but the highlight for me in GA4 and the best part of this article is that they've actually built all those goals that I talked about: scrolling, click through, phone number tracking. A lot of those are already built in the GA4. So you just go in, set up GA4, and then go turn on those goals, and it's already done for you. You just assign them a cost. If you want to do the revenue generated, assign each CP or goal a cost, and it's already done. So that's really, really cool. And this article goes through a little bit more just how to turn those on for you. And it just saves you from learning some stuff, Let's see. Next one. How did the tech competitors change with Python? I figure you econ people would really like this. So, or even affiliates. So probably, but more so even the econ people. And let's say you're selling T-shirts. You go through and you find your competitors that are selling the same type of T-shirts, the same genre. You can actually use Python and set this up so that if they lower their prices, have sales, or anything like that, Python will go through, it'll run its script, it'll find it, and then it'll send you an email alert saying, hey, that's dropped. Now, I would caution you if you're going to do something like that, and maybe the econ people specifically have even better recommendations on this, but don't use that as something to chase each other down to the bottom of the market and try to get, who's got the best price. But it certainly gives you some more information, especially when you're dealing with a lot of competition, to actually maybe even position yourself as the most expensive, but the best quality, best customer service, best order handling, all that stuff, and be the best and be the premium and be able to charge a little bit more than your competition and still, without chasing the price to the bottom, like a lot happens in a lot of markets. Especially, you see SEO, for example, there's people offering $29 a month SEO. Well, when you think about that, they're going after, I would say, I wouldn't even say price conscious, I would just say cheap. They're going after cheap people, and then they're offering them a $29 a month SEO package that essentially is a site audit tool, right? And then they're upselling for all their services. It gets them in. It's essentially a tripwire offer, but it's presented as $29 a month SEO, so it's misleading. And that's kind of what you're going to find when you're looking at these competitor price changes is, did they raise their price? Let's say they raised their price a week before Black Friday up by 10, 20, 30%, and then they offered a 30% discount for Black Friday. Well, really, did you get a deal? And you can actually get to see that stuff out. And I'm not necessarily saying you can call your competition out, but you can certainly raise that as a point of as a selling point when you're doing your stuff. So check that out. That'd be really cool. All right, this is a post. I got 3 of these in here as kind of just as ways to engage in some forums and stuff. And this one is it's a process. It's not very detailed, but it is a process nonetheless of how to take how this author of this post is going to use YouTube in order to generate $50,000 a month. Very ambitious, but I'm not going to say that it's not likely to happen, but it is very ambitious. And you see, he outlines the actual steps he's going to take and the amount of money he's going to invest in this thing to see how it turns out. Hopefully, he keeps updating this journey thread in this particular forum. That's how they do it. Like, they'll do a journey, they say what they're going to do, and then you just kind of follow along in that thread and see how they do. So hopefully we see some progress of that. I'm not anticipating $50,000 a month, but I'm never going to say never. You never know what could happen. Maybe he'll get lucky. Let's see. This was a good one. I had a consultation call this morning, and this is something that I've talked about to a lot of people, and it's how many projects do you take on? And or how many domains you have. And it was kind of timely because as I was doing the consultation, I had also had to set up some of this stuff for the show. And this one came up is let's say you have 100 domains. Should you realistically expect that you will be able to handle 100 websites all at one time? Or should you define some of your more ROI generating projects, like living in the now? These ones are going to make me money now. Let me build those up. And then when they go into what I call them is into maintenance mode, then you can take on a new project. So for me, for example, I have Digital Ear and I have What Ranks. And then What Ranks is the course side, right? And that's pretty much now in the maintenance mode. I'll add some more videos here and there, but for the most part, maintenance mode. Digital Ear, active project, working on it, still doing some stuff. And then Dory and I are once the new site comes out, we'll be bringing in new content for SEO Intelligence Agency. So that'll be an active project. So I'm really, at the end of the day, you do the math, and I'm limited to 3 projects. And then I have the client stuff, and that's roughly 900 websites. So you do all that, and you have to have systems that do 900 websites. Don't get me wrong; it's got to be you got to have a plan and a system. So and that's an SOP thing and some outsourcing. But 900 websites in the list, I can pull it off. But at the end of the day, I've got 2 big projects: Digital Ear, and then SIA is coming. And I have one more that I want to do, and that's going to be my affiliate site. And I'm probably going to build that out in a dueling over-the-shoulder series for SIA and What Ranks. At the same time, it's also going to be content for SEO This Week. So I think it would be good and kind of just, get you guys in seeing how I do things and how I build things out. And not necessarily for the purposes of this show is, I'm going to do this and this is why, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. We might go that route, but we'll see how it goes. So this is if you read that post, you'll actually get some more perspectives on that and how to select what types of projects to do and how many to do and how to make sure you're not overtaxing yourself. Because if you're overtaxing yourself, you're going to hate doing all this stuff. If you hate doing it, you're going to be less effective at it. If you're going to be less effective at it, you're going to make less money at it. Versus narrowing it down to a couple of projects. And don't fall for that do what you love crap. Doing what you love may not necessarily mean getting money for doing what you love. They're always not synonymous. But if you have a couple of projects that are going to make you the most money, and they're making you a whole lot of money, and you're paying all your bills, and they're keeping your significant others happy, then that's what you love. So do those, right? So that's kind of how I am. And let's see, Google scroll to text fragments. This is another interesting post, and it brings up the thought or the fact that with the passage indexing that everyone's all excited about, my passage is going to be inside of the search results, and I'm going to get the rich snippet. And never mind the fact that you're not going to get as much traffic from those because their answer is right inside the search results now, and you've given it to Google to do it. But, yay, Google. Passage indexing, yay. But you get actually cited in there, and you'll get the link. Now what that does is it gives a hashtag link. So like a jump link is what I call them, but URL jump link to this part of the page, and that is what's actually cited inside of the featured snippet when they do this. And what happens when you click that is it bounces to that section of the page when it opens. The problem comes for people that are living and dying by ad revenue, publishers, and when they sell ad space or they're getting paid for impressions of the ad, that jump link that Google is setting can actually cause a whole bunch of issues for them. They actually lose a lot of money on that, right? So what this does is actually gives you a workaround so you can leverage the passive indexing and be cool with it. You're not hurting anything. But when people click any link on your page, it forces the user to the top of the page. And then you can add some jump links. Let's say you see some passages that are constantly getting a whole bunch of attention from Google inside of your analytics. Then you can actually, set the table of contents and use that jump link as a as part of your table of contents and kind of build off of that and make it a whole lot easier for the user while not sacrificing impressions on your ads. So I would check this out, especially if you were in the publisher model. If you're not making money directly from ad impressions, then that's probably not anything worth doing. But if you're certainly getting ad impression traffic, then that's what you need to, you should probably implement this. And it has been pointed out by Danny over at Google that this does not affect SEO or the ability for those snippets to show up, right? So that's how you do it. Okay, and the last one is non-offensive links to add noise to the backlink profile. I had a separate conversation with someone else, and we were talking about what are you doing? Like if you're doing PBNs, for example, how do you hide those? If you're building really good tier ones through outreach, how do you hide those? And the reason you want to hide those is your competition can actually go through and reverse engineer your profile and then find all the easy links that you got and reach out to the same people. And Bob's your uncle, they can just duplicate your profile. But you can hide all that stuff. And typically the way I hide it is inside of SEO Autopilot or that kind of stuff, or my branded networks. And you set up a brand network, 200 to 300 websites, and every time you publish to those, that gets indexed and notified, and then it eventually builds up what a lot of people coin as pillar links. And there's two methods inside of here that kind of how to do that, and it's good for you to see these two particular methods because most people say that they are dead, but people are still quite successful using them. So go in there, check out the methods. They are manual. If you want to do it safe, you can certainly automate it if you just don't care. If it's a churn and burn website, then use the automated method. But if it is it's a long-term project or client stuff, then use the manual method, and test it out for yourself and see how it works. So, and that's it. That's the stories for this week. So check those out on the website. It'll be digitalear.com SEO this week / episode 191. The links are in the description, or the link to the page is in the description. You'll be able to get that once I publish it. And that shouldn't be too much longer because I'm testing some stuff out to make my process a little bit easier and smoother. All right. So anyone have any questions on those? Hopefully not. I don't see why not. The highlights for me really is the GA4 stuff. I want to see that. I want to go in there and implement that stuff because I'm doing it like through Tag Manager on some projects, and then you're setting up goals inside of Google, and then you're setting up heat map, and you got to do it again on Clicky and all that stuff. And if GA4 has it for me, I can get those top goals already set up, add the conversion value to it, and Bob's your uncle, it's done. And then I just have to worry about my Clicky account and duplicating that to kind of liar check Google Analytics, right? So that's kind of how I'm looking at that. And then the other one is the Python, the search algorithm, or doing the rank tracking with Python, just so that I can have it in the house and I don't have to. I'm always going to, but I don't have to rely on third-party rank trackers. So, me, I use SEO Power Suite's rank tracker just because it's cool, and I got the editable PDFs, and it automatically emails reports for me. There's plenty of other tools to do it. That's mine. That's the one I choose. All right, let's see. Questions. One from John. What are your thoughts on this Smith algo stuff? Yeah, I think the story was that Smith is replacing BERT, right? And BERT was designed in theory, to determine or help figure out what the user's intent behind that search was. Like, you're searching for flying carpets. Do you really want a flying carpet, or and what sites address that? And then the Smith stuff comes out. That according to Ted on the SEO Fight Club, actually changes or kind of makes things a whole lot better for the user. So I think that as those are applied more and stuff, I don't necessarily think that it's something that and Ted can think I'm wrong, and we might actually debate this later, but is Bert and Smith are designed so that the users get better search results more than they are designed so that you have to optimize for something to be better on your website, on your page. So in order to address Bert and now Smith, you just got to write better stuff and be clearer about it. And as you test and look at different things, I think grammar may become an issue sooner rather than later. And I also think, based off of the Quora reports, if you guys saw that last week, the flash reading scale is kicking in. Maybe that's getting a little bit smarter to be able to adapt to that a little bit. So there might be some SEO fine-tuning that you can do. But for the most part, clear, concise answers to questions and factual statements and that kind of stuff, I think would be, to me, the easiest thing to teach a machine. But I'm not a machine guy, right? So I've never done machine learning, and I've never, applied it inside of a commercial for Holiday Inn Express, if you get the reference, etc. And so you have to kind of bounce that out to what it is. So, yeah, and the rhinoplasty Plano stuff and all the sites that Kyle Roof actually set up, those Lorem Ipsum sites are still ranking. So Smith and Burt is not the end all and be all. And Ted pointed out it's because it's only in 12 languages. I would think more it's kind of, if you're a rhinoplasty Plano in google.com, English search engine, English results, English location, it would expect an English site at least. And if it was really smart, it would be able to look at a Latin written site and go, yeah, it's not English, and then push that out and put something else in there. And clearly it's not doing that either, right? So something to consider as you're debating this and wondering it in your mind. I leave the analysis of BERT and all that stuff, NLP and all that, to the super nerds. I don't have the brain power for it, nor the brain capacity. So I want to know. I want to hear their thoughts on it, and then I want to test implementations of it. And that's how I came up with, I listened to a guy that was really, really smart on entities and using all that stuff. He gave us a writing process. I liked it. It was too much work. I changed it to my own kind of thing and tested it, and it works good. So that's kind of the value of learning what's going on. And let's see. At least like listen to someone who's listening, talking, or knows the technical side of all those things. I can tell you that it's way too early for people to say, well, this is how you SEO for BERT. At the end of the day, you SEO the same way you always SEO'd. On-page optimization, implementation of LSI inside of your content, and the implementation of super LSI and schema and building backlinks, and that's how you rank. And you're still dealing with the machine, and the machine is still gotta, even if it finds the most relevant contents in the trillions and trillions of pages on the web for flying red carpets, it still has to have a voting system to say which one is the best, and that's where the links come in, right? So, yeah, I think we're good for a while, and the whole SEO is dead thing. hopefully we'll see a post like that every year, but hopefully it's not true for another 10. By that time I'll be rich and have a nice nest egg and be retired. So all you young guys can figure it out. All right, so let's talk about the topic of the week, and I put it in the title for YouTube, and the rest of you didn't get to see it. So I'm going to do anchor text ratios and how to analyze those. And so to do so, we kind of need some tools. And let me open these up. I did this once with everyone watching, and I started getting all kinds of spam. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to open Majestic up, and I'm going to open Ahrefs up. And then we'll probably just work in Ahrefs from that point on. Not because it's better, I need both of them to kind of illustrate my point on something. And I need a website. Is anyone watching that has a website? Actually, I'm going to do DUI lawyer Los Angeles. DUI lawyer Los Angeles, and that'll be good. All right. Let's go to screen. Okay, so DUI lawyer Los Angeles, that's where we're going to look for. Now, if you are using Quora or any other tool, and you've been following me for some time, I've always said, especially after I got hold of Quora and embraced the math of correlation analysis for determining ranking competition, is I've always applied that to my anchor text. And what that means is the days of exact match anchor text should be 1% to 2% to no more, or else Penguin's going to kill you. Is, in my opinion, that was bull crap then and is bull crap now, and that you actually have to go through keyword by keyword and look at the competition and see what kind of backlink anchor text that these guys that they have, and in order to you got to match that. So Google is expecting, based off of the competition in your niche, X percentage of anchor text, just like they would be expecting X percentage of keyword density, for example. So you have X percentage of exact match anchors, partial match, brand, URL, and I have it classified down to 15 different things. But for this one, we're going to look at exact match anchors, and that will let you know, really, at the end of the day, kind of how aggressive you can get. I'm going to just show you the process of how I do it. We're going to do it on just one site, just because I don't want to be here forever, but we're going to do one site, and you just duplicate this across the top 10. Skip sites like Yelp, FindLaw, Expertise.com. Those are directories. They're ranking based off of the directory love. Since the last Google update, the directories have actually dropped significantly. I'm seeing more real sites, which is kind of cool. And only so much as I say significant is like half. Now half of the directories are gone and real sites are coming in, which is good. And that's good for the user too. So super lawyers, Avo, you can skip those. And then you have this one, criminal defense attorney. That's probably an actual attorney's office. Here's one, and then the top two. So I would look at those and say, all right, what are we looking at? Because these aren't going to rank based off of their being directories. These are going to rank based off of on page, and it's DOI lawyers, so there's backlinks involved. You're not getting around it. And we're going to drop in the URL into our tools. And I'm going to do Ahrefs. I'm going to do Majestic. And the reason you want to do both, and optimally, if you're like really serious and you have a lot of money, then you probably want to get link research tools, and that brings up 22 more things. But you won't actually see all of the what the hell's the word I'm looking for? All of the backlinks from just one tool. So Ahrefs is not going to have all of them. So you can see I just switched this to the URL. There's 61 referring domains, and then this one says 29 referring domains. So clearly there's some differences in there. And so you want to have as much data as you can. Again, link research tools, they have a tool that kind of does what I'm doing here. But you can research your competition and bring that all in together. It's, money. You're going to spend some money doing that. So this is kind of the poor man's method, and you can get close enough. And really what we want to do is, at the end of the day, is look at this anchor text stuff. And we're searching for, what we're searching for is the breakup, like what are they using, etc. And then in particular, exact match. How aggressive did they get on exact match stuff? And so that will tell you what you got to do and worry about with the penguin. And the growing theory is that the penguin is what is hitting you with the exact match stuff, is the penguin. So I'm going to look at this and kind of just figure out and show you some of the paths that you would go, right? And since we got two of these together, they're not big link profiles, so we can actually do it this way. So we're looking at this, and the one thing that stands out to me, right, is this website. I would look at some of those just to see how it's implemented a little bit. You can see that in details in either one of these tools. But there's the domain name, visit website. These generic things, I don't even build these anymore, right? But I build a lot of these. So that's really good. There's 13 in there. 6 are do follow, referring pages. These are probably some site-wides. Let's look. You can actually look at the domain types too. Yeah, see there's some, all of the, the directories. So it's probably, for the lack of a better term, his citations, and his citations are here. But at the end of the day, there's that. And then DOI lawyer. This is a partial match. It's not an exact match. So when you're building these out, you would consider it as a partial match. This one too, partial match. And I'm looking for any exact matches. And if you don't see those here, and we had 61, right? So let's bump this up to 100 and see if it's there at all. And okay. So there's no exact match for that one. And then look in here, domain, URL. There's exact match. And what do we got? 2 referring domains, 4 backlinks total for exact match. There's another one. Well, that's not exact match to the search, right? What did I do? I lawyer Los Angeles. So that would be it's a partial match, but it's close enough to the exact match for me. And here's the other one, DUI lawyer Los Angeles. There's 2 more links, and then you see all these variations of it. And when I'm talking about variations, this LA DUI, Los Angeles DUI lawyer, attorney. These are my variation anchor texts: DUI attorneys, Los Angeles DUI, and DWI lawyers. I would build links to all of those. I would use those, right? So that I've replaced these things with those. And you can see that this person who's done this has pretty much done the same thing. So DUI lawyers, DUI lawyer, DUI lawyer Los Angeles, etc. So what you're looking at here is generic anchors, blank anchors, probably pictures. I'm not going to click it because I don't want to lose this table, but it's probably pictures. Images, image link building. You notice that they have a lot of them. So I would look at what they did and replicate that for sure, because there's a lot of them there. And then you have generics, and then your URLs. And then you get into your exact match and partial match. And I don't see any. Yeah, this is partial. That's partial match with some branding. This is based off of the title tag. This is partial with branding, and some more URL stuff, partials. This is partial with branding. My guess is one of their attorneys is Matthew Cohen, and more URL stuff. So when you look at this, URLs, definitely you want to build a lot in this market. You want to build a lot of URL backlinks. This one tells pretty much the same story. URL, the no thanks and URLs. So you want to build a lot of URLs. You want to focus on those. So those are your quote unquote pillow backlinks. You can use all those URLs. You want to be a little bit cautious, probably, the 1% rule. I'm doing the math in my head. Really, I'm just kind of guesstimating, but the 1% rule would kind of apply here. I would have to look at the rest of these, obviously, but just based off of this one thing, I probably don't want any more than 2 or 3 websites linking to me with the exact match anchors in this case. And I want to leverage the variations. And I've been leveraging the variations ever since Kyle or Ted made Quora. And those are dope. So you leverage the variations, and I would also take it one step further. And instead of doing these generic things, which obviously it's probably coming from their citations, right? Instead of doing those, I would actually use entities. So when I wrote out my content, I would pick the top rated or top correlating entities, and those would be my anchor text on that too. And that would actually kind of save you from having to do a bunch of this, websites and go nows and all this madness beyond your citation stuff. You won't actually have to build any more of that stuff. And it'll actually hide it pretty good. You can do these when you read that hiding post or pillowing, for the lack of a better term, that post on those 2 methods. You actually leverage these in those 2 methods, and it'll work a lot better. All right, and then you go to here, and we'll do the same thing. So let's see, DUI lawyer Los Angeles. I'm trying to see if they didn't even pick up any exact match in here, which is odd, right? Best DUI lawyers in your area. So if you were just if you're an Ahrefs user, you'd miss out on all of these, and if you're just a Majestic user, you'll miss out on all of those. So I had to bite the bullet and actually open a Majestic account. So now I have both, but it's good. You see both, and if you're a link research tool user, there's 22 resources in there, but for whatever reason, they actually don't do very good at getting these 2. So you're probably going to need all 3, and then you use link research tools to do all this research that we did, and it'll throw it all in the math and stuff. We'll see. Let's see what else. I think that's it. Because that was pretty fine and clear. Let's actually, I said I wasn't going to do another one, but let's do another one. You'll also notice that I did the path. I'm not competing with the entire domain. I'm competing with that one URL. So when you're doing that, when you're doing this analysis, do the same thing. Make sure you're using just the path. You're using that URL, and you'll be good. You'll get the same data. So there's no anchors here, and this one is 1, 2 at the anchor text. There's that again. Let's actually check out what this is. Law library, empty anchor text. What do they got? Is that a link? No. 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 This is a weird site. There it is right there. Oh, that's right, the one. Yeah, but that's the link. So why is it empty anchor text? Let's see. Well, no follow. Yeah, there's no anchor text set in there. Huh. So that's why it's no anchor text. Actually, here. Go now. So it should be. Maybe they're just not seeing, the tools are not seeing it because it's like that, in that button. That's interesting to know. Well, you see this stuff as when you're doing the research, right? So this one only says 1, 2, 3, 4 referring domains, and then it's in here it's none. So to me, what that tells me is that I wish I really had the Bing Webmaster Tools, because I can see PBNs in that, and I'd be able to put this into the old Site Explorer and Bing Webmaster Tools and see their PBN links. We can also open up one more tool and see if they hit it from everybody. And I'm probably be giving this out. People don't know about it, but I want to do SEO Spyglass from SEO Power Suite. And I'll open it up and we'll run it. Why not? Let's see. Questions. Digital is 403 right now. Why? What'd you do? What'd you do, Brian? 403 error. Substatic code, more specific reason. Forbidden. Ooh, you're forbidden. That means you're blocked, homie. Where are you at? Depending on the country you're from, etc., Cloudflare blocks people. And I just started doing it because people were, as I was showing out my sites and how I was building them and stuff, I was getting hack attacked and everything else. So I just started blocking countries. Yeah. Where are you at, Elton? Oh, also, if you're clicking the link, as I said, that link is dead. So don't be clicking it and keep clicking it over and over again. My system will also block you out. Yeah. Albania. I think you might be all right. Yeah, but the link in the description is dead, and there's a 404 thing. So don't click that thing over and over again. You get a 404 page on my website, stop clicking, because it's set to block you and block your IPs. All right. And that'll clear up on its own. So that blocks like 15 minutes unless you do it over and over again, and then it permanently blocks you. And that's a security thing. I implement it on all my websites and client sites that need security stuff. That security is a consideration. I lock those down intentionally. All right, where the hell was I? Oh, we were doing the SEO Power Suite, SEO Spyglass. Waiting for that to open up. Still, it's a Java program. If you guys don't have it, it's based off of Java. It opens slow as dirt for whatever reason. But once it is open, everything works pretty good. It's a fairly decent tool. I've been on the SEO Power Suite subscription probably like 4 years now. I don't know what I have in here because I haven't used this one in a while. It looks like none. Oh, there's Digital Ear. It's in there. And I actually... Shut up. You could actually do a comparison in here if you wanted to. Drop those in there. And you'll see the backlinks. But for this case, and this is a little bit more than I would normally do. So you guys don't really have to do this. It's not the one I wanted. This is the one we're doing, right? yeah, I just want to see. I don't even need to do that. I just let it do it. And you notice when I did that, I actually set it up to run just the URL. Again, you don't want to run all your tools on the main domain. You're not competing with the domain. Yes, finally. I'm excited to see that right there. I just finally updated that thing. And it'll run through and do it, and it'll open this queue up so you can see this queue. And there's collecting link domains, and there's another thing in here where you'll notice it's trying to check. I want to say Alexa, but it's not Alexa. What's the other fucking not Alta Vista? I forget the name of it, but it starts with an A, and you'll see it freezes. It does it in all other software. You just hit the X, and that'll push that through. And it's a little bit frustrating when you leave this overnight and see it's stuck on there. There it is, Alexa rank. You don't need that. Boom. We'll shut that off. It's checking some Googles and some Bings and some Yahoos because I didn't bother to turn off the search engines. You guys have any other questions? Digital ear still busted for some of you. I'll look at that. If you guys all go to my site for information all the time, and you keep getting those 403s, and you're in certain countries, I can tell you that probably the old former Soviet Union, Caucasus states, and all that stuff, you're probably getting blocked by Cloudflare. But if you're legit, you want to use the site and you want to look at the stuff and check out the news stories constantly, and you're always getting those errors, just shoot me up in our Slack, House of Hustle Slack, or you can hit me up on Facebook, and just give me your IP and I'll white label your IP address. Just bear in mind, even though I white label it, my software is set up that if you decide to ask for specific clearance, and then I set you up on, and we see in the logs that you're hitting us abnormally, we're going to block you permanently, and then I'll probably call you out. So, or you can just use a VPN. VPN's probably easier. Still waiting on this. What's it doing now? Pages indexed in Google. Pages indexed in Bing. It's almost done. Yeah, you see it's only picked up 6 backlinks. I don't need this. Domain's popularity. I don't need that. Thumbnail. I don't need that. So we're good. So this one's only picked up 6 backlinks. So I don't think if they have PBNs, we're going to find that too much. Number of backlinks, number of defollows, number of linking domains. Let's see. Linking domains. Let's see what this is. Ukester? What the hell is a Ukester? COVID, join us, stay informed. This is a horrible site. There's 6 backlinks coming from it. Let's see what this is. No content. I don't see. Let's look at the backlink specifically. That's interesting. It's set up with the Google Search API. And these are being counted as backlinks because the Search API is publishing here. So these are being counted as backlinks. That's pretty cool. Interesting. And then there's some Yelp in here. So this, my guess is this is probably just a junk site someone abandoned at one point or another. But I don't think we saw that one in here. Let's go here. So we wouldn't have known that was there. Oh, there's Euxer right there. And Law Library. Is this the right one? Yep. And do here, wrong one. Referring domains, there's none. So that's interesting. So if they are running on PBNs, and if they're ranking that page on there, they're probably running on PBNs. We really got to do a couple of things. One, we checked their tools and we couldn't find it. So two, we have to see. Let's say that they found the perfect way to hide PBNs. Perfect ever. There's no way to find them. Okay, then we're kind of screwed on tapping that out and beating them. But we can also throw this into Sightbulb or Screaming Frog and look at the visualization and see if there's a internal linking plan going on in here, and they're actually sending the backlinks to something else and then pushing through to this particular page for us. So if this was me, I would actually probably be sending them here. Yeah, DUI lawyer, Los Angeles. What was that other term we picked? Wait that to open up. Let's see if that's working. That's not working. Let's check this out. That's not working. Is my internet suck that bad? Oh, see what they got. That link is inside their logo too. So they essentially made this their homepage. So all backlinks to the domain are pointing at that. Let's see how many backlinks are sitting on the domain. Or the homepage. Boom. Found them. Let's see here. Anchors. Boom. Found them. Brand, URL, generic URL, exact match. Exact match. Partial match. DUI attorney, a partial match. Really narrowed in. So that's pretty cool. So you see what they did. They have all their links going to their homepage, right? But their logo points at the page that we found, or it did, or else I messed something up. No, this one goes to their homepage. What do they do there? What's going on? I think I fat fingered this. Partial match. DUI attorney. That's the homepage. So why didn't this stuff work? Let me see something. Deleting that. Hitting that. Now that works. Interesting. DUI lawyer, Los Angeles. Where did they reference this page on the homepage to pass through the relevancy? Because we see this, right? Look, DUI lawyer, Los Angeles, partial match. It's really specific. So you would expect, because all those anchors are going there, we would see the homepage here. But we're not doing that. What we're seeing is it's going to the Los Angeles page that I lost. Where did I but it's going here, and this is the one that's ranking. So what I want to know is on here, where is that going? Like, how is that juice passing from here to here? Is it specifically done intentionally, or did they just kind of figure it out? And I'm hovering fast to see if I can trigger the anchor text here. Los Angeles DUI felonies. There you go. This is a good point to make. All their anchor text, criminal justice, DUI, all that stuff, right? DUI, criminal attorneys, and then they go Los Angeles DUI felonies, and that's to our target page. Yep. And this is the map, some Yelp stuff. I wouldn't even do any of that crap. I would just say, hey, you can find us there. I wouldn't link to them. This is maps. To build relevancy, you link to the map of the neighborhood. And then a whole bunch of this crap. This is overlinking. It's really kind of useless. And then you have the locations down there to tie in your interlinking, so you don't have to do it specifically within the content. But I think this is really what's doing it. All that relative link, and then they're saying, here's Los Angeles DUIs, felonies, and it's not exact match to the term, right? But it is partial match, Los Angeles DUI, and then felonies, and then you have all this partial match stuff here, and that's kind of carrying over and causing that to rank. So that's pretty interesting and really cool. I like that. Let me see one other thing just for giggles while we're over here. And we're looking at the anchor text is what I'm looking at. Yeah, here we go. So they need to fix their schema. That's standard stuff and broken schema. So that's kind of junk. The attorney schema is there. And it's broken. What is broken? Attorney. It's broken because they got this mess in there and that doesn't belong in there. The breaks. Whoever wrote this didn't know what they're doing. Yeah. And then that's the right schema. So it looks like somebody got adventurous, wrote this, and then someone else couldn't figure out where this crap is at or for whatever reason. And so they used their own and wrote it properly. And based off of how that's minified, I would bet you that's Yoast schema. Because not a lot of people are minifying their schema automatically. So I bet you that's a plugin. And let's see if Yoast is on here. DNS. You got the Dublin core. That's smart. So it's not Yoast because Dublin core is not applied by Yoast. I wonder what they got on here. That's interesting. It looks like that's about it. Yeah, I would have to look a little bit more. But anyway, so hopefully I kind of just, I know I generally over and kind of bounced around and got lost in a couple of rabbit holes there. But for the most part, you saw how I look at it. Find out how many anchor texts there are, classify them, URL, brand, exact match, partial match with brand, and variations. And you can use LSI if you want to. I use variations. Put them in their classifications, figure out what your percentages are, and do that for the top 10. And then that'll give you the average of that exact match, and partial match will tell you pretty much where you can go with your anchor text percentages. So hopefully that works out. And we'll play around with this. Yeah, like Elton said, he's appreciating me watching doing the backlink analysis. And I didn't want to get caught in that rabbit hole, and I ended up doing it. But hopefully you guys all found that useful. I want to answer some questions, and really, there only looks like there's one. So, and that question is from Elton. You got any tips for foreign SEO? I've read that you can be more aggressive since the algorithm isn't as advanced as in the US, but not sure what they mean by being more aggressive. Low quality links work. So define low quality links. One, I kind of challenge you to do it, right? So any link can be made to be high quality. It's just a matter of what is on there, and are you doing the proper linking to it? Are you building that up? And you can make what anyone else would consider, or everyone in the and I'll just say the white hat world, just because, to be a hater consistently, like a web 2.0 link, they'll say a blogger is a low quality link. But if I've built a whole bunch of nice backlinks and built some tiers to that and stuff, that blogger becomes significantly of quality. So that addresses the part of the low quality links comment. So low quality links work everywhere. It's how you use links and what you define as low quality versus high quality. And when you stop looking at it in that manner, metrics versus is this making my page go up or down? Any link that makes my page go down is low quality. Anyone that makes it go up is high quality. Right? So kind of look at it that way. Now, in regards to foreign SEO, the algorithm is different. It's applied. It's not. How do I make this clear? I talked about it last week. The algorithm is this set of math rules programmatically designed by Google. And I illustrated last week how each keyword that is turned on to varying degrees in markets, and turned on and off in varying degrees in keyword specific terms. The exact same applies with foreign SEO. The algorithm is, for the most part, the same for everybody. But in foreign SEO, there might be some limitations. Language understanding is probably the number one thing. So maybe all the math that is done for anti-spam and for quality analysis and for page understanding may or may not be turned on in a foreign language, because the math is not advanced enough yet to know and understand and deal with that specific language. So that's why people say that it's easier to rank in, say, the Netherlands versus the US, or New Zealand is easier to rank than Australia, because those particular systems are using the same math, but they're not all turned up in the same ways. And each one of them, and testing will tell you which factors are big players in there. The easiest way to see that right now that we all have, and the fastest way, is to get a Quora subscription. And if you're working in the New Zealand, google.com / what is it, NK or something like that, work in that particular search engine inside of Quora, and then start analyzing the correlations, keeping those on track, and then watching as that changes at before and after updates. So you know how that's all done. And you may or may not, I don't know, I don't do a lot of foreign SEO, just because I don't have a lot of foreign clients, but you may or may not see that it is easier or it is harder to rank in those particular different countries. It's just kind of, you got to let the math answer that question for you, right? So don't follow that it is, just because it's the UK, for example. That's overseas for me, but it's not easier for me to rank in the UK. Israel, overseas for me, not necessarily easier for me to rank in Israel. But Thailand, I can rank pretty easily in Thailand. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, all my ranking in those markets all begins with a Quora analysis. By low quality, I mean blasting GSA to money page. That still won't work, right? Wrong. I actually use a couple of websites when I clean my GSA lists, generic anchors, junk backlinks, and those pages that are getting the links as a result of cleaning my GSA list are all ranking just fine. And as a matter of fact, I bumped a bunch of them up to page one, number one, just with GSA. So people who say the GSA doesn't work and Google's smart enough to figure it out are just too dumb to figure out GSA. That's my opinion. Do you think link text ratio is just off-page keyword density? Could Google just be adding link text to the page content, or is that totally separate system? And can you test it like keyword density? It could be handled that way. I would think that it's more, and I'm just kind of thinking on a math level, right? I have a billion trillion things to do. What is the easiest way to do it? And to me, the easiest way is to put them all in, see which ones are the same, see which has the highest percentage of, and then match that to what I think the page is relevant about. And based off of, and to me, the easiest way is keyword density. So if my keyword density, site A as anchor text, exact match 20%, keyword density of, I don't know, exact match 5%, everyone else has 4.5 and everyone has 19%, then I would mathematically, I would say that would probably be the easiest way to do it. So it's a little bit harder to say, does keyword ratio in the anchor text apply when picking that up? But I could see how that could be easily done. And is it adding it to the text page content is a totally separate system? I believe that it would be a totally separate system because the algorithm is, we all think of the algorithm as a single thing, but really at the end of the day, it's a bunch of mini algorithms put together to feed the main monster, right? So I would think that the algorithm to handle link building is different from the algorithm to handle on-page content versus it's different to handle images versus schema, you know what I mean? So I think that would be on a separate system. I don't think they would put that together. But how are they putting it together? I think that's really the big question. And those are questions that we should have asked when Penguin came out and all the talking heads were telling us to do 1% anchor texts. We did, and we just never asked those questions. Looks like the show's title has been hit by an epidemic. Not sure what that means. Okay. I think that's it. I don't have anything else. Any more questions? If not, I think I'm going to call it a day. That's an hour and 10 minutes. So that was a good show. Again, I know I hit the anchor text ratio stuff really fast. So if you think of any questions in the future, go ahead and drop them in the comments in Facebook or YouTube. Probably YouTube would be the best because I don't go to Facebook very much anymore. I get tired of it. Check out, join SIA if you want to. Reach out there. We can even go a whole lot deeper, or you can join one of our mastermind groups inside of SIA and work with each other, or hit me up on House to Hustle on my Slack, and I'll help you out. Thank you all very much for coming. I enjoy the interaction. I appreciate it. Hopefully it gave you something to grind over and some new things to check out. Episode instead of episode. What did I do that on YouTube? All right, I'll fix it. Thanks, Corell. Appreciate it. Appreciate the heads up. All right, guys and gals. See you next week. In the meantime, keep on plugging away and stay safe.